This broadcast is inappropriate for all ages. Right here on the Play Spot. I am Kamurai, and that does not have a thing. So give me just a second. I have to adjust. Minicam using that. I thought it was on. That's why the one preview I checked worked. Oh, what a fool. Now we are there. We have arrived. We have overcome technology to talk about games and things and stuff right here on PlaySpot. Again, I am Kamurai. And I don't have that much to talk about this week. A lot of Minecraft, because I've actually managed to get on the server and play a lot of Minecraft. And you know what, that's actually a good idea. Let's go ahead and pull that up. And we will review the map later on. So the first thing I'm definitely going to talk about is that I know that I'm doing a thing, phone. Jeez. D&D. So like it's become a thing now that we do D&D shows. There's actually a fair amount of people doing it on like Twitch and YouTube for a while now, and the Heroes of Awesome happened with the Weirdlings. The Weirdlings were doing the campaign called Heroes of Awesome, and I was following that pretty religiously. I'm a pretty big fan, supporter of them, so I've been doing that, and then on top of that, their DM, Brandon, has started DMing another group called Twilight Chorus and then hosting that on his YouTube page, but because of the weird stipulations that YouTube has, we don't have that short URL. Wasn't that an old map? Jeez, why don't I have a decent copy of this map on hand? I can probably go get one. But, so he's doing that, and they're actually a good group. It's really great to see people who are new come on and actually teach them things, and that's how the Heroes of Awesome started. That's how Twilight Chorus started. Critical Role may have had people who didn't play D&D before, but they had actors. Geek and Sundry had nerdy people who I'm pretty sure had access to D&D prior to Titan's Grave. Those are the ones that I watch for the most part now. It can be a lot. I gotta get up to date with Critical Role, but the problem is that 3 hours is a lot of time to dedicate, and you've got to be choosy about it because, frankly, you don't have an infinite amount of time. And the Weirdlings have started up a new live stream D&D session, Dominions of Esland, that Mark Gardner is DMing for, and Brandon's actually being a player. Because Brandon wanted to play, and Mark wanted to DM. And he definitely came out of the house swinging. He does not go half in. If I'm being honest about things. So it's really good to see that happen. You know what, if I was better about things and stuff, we would have this up. So it's really good to see him go in and take control of a campaign, but I do a thing called Bad Summaries over on Jam on Toast for all these things, and I love the idea of RPGs, but I was never a big Dungeons & Dragons fan. Slowly over the years, under the guise of Wizards and Mattel, they have slowly absorbed all the stuff I did kind of like, TSR, Forgotten Realms, all the things I actually did kind of get on with have become Dungeons and Dragons. The only thing that I like that isn't is Pathfinder. That's mainstream because the Warhammer Fantasy universes and the Warhammer 40k universes are still not quite mainstream. And then Iron Kingdoms is probably as close as you can get to mainstream without being there, and that's what I really would like is to be able to do Iron Kingdoms. And if I can ever get to Austin and then learn this crap, that's what I'll do, even if it's an online campaign. And that's completely possible to do that. I'm trying to see if I can add a scene on the fly here. I don't think it'll like this if I do this. Okay, so that worked. I don't really want it there per se. And this is going to look funny when I'm not doing it on the other one, because I'm streaming to 2 different sites, remember. So, okay, so we'll get there. But, like, I love the idea of doing RPGs and whatnot, and I've got, like, one RPG story in my head that I want to tell, and the other one, the other story that's not, like, for a video game specifically, that is a production piece, is using Super Dungeon Explorer, which does not yet have its own campaign mode. I'm actually got one in my head that I want to use, and I want to use it. I figured out how I want to do movement and expand it so that you can actually use everything, and I'm going to do it. And Soda Pop Miniatures has drastically overreached itself, it seems. I feel like they got a full head of themselves now that they're from doing this fucking Kickstarter campaign. So I'm losing appreciation for them as a company. Ninja Division I could do with or without. I actually really liked the idea for Ninja All-Stars, so I backed that campaign, but if it never happened, I would be fine. I like Super Dungeon Explorer. I want Super Dungeon Explorer, and I don't like what the release schedule thing is. I don't like the fact that I've got an order sitting there for all the rest of the pieces, and I can't touch it. They're not touching it. They've got a video game on the way. They've got a Arcadia Quest version. They finally got around to doing their own because someone else was too impatient. Cool. I think it was Cool Mini or Not was too impatient about the Super Dungeon Explorer stuff to be like, well, we want an RPG mode, so we're going to make one. And they just made a whole new game for it. But, so there's that. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. So I've been daydreaming about Super Dungeon Explorer pretty heavily, and then my campaign that I want to write for that, and then all the things that they're doing, because, God help me, when a Super Dungeon Explorer video game shows up, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull myself away from it. I'm probably going to spend a week live streaming playing that and just being like, fuck yeah. Yeah! And that'll be fantastic. I can't wait. Can't wait. I get excited about Super Dungeon Explorer. You know what? It's sitting right there looking at me. I did a bad thing. And you know what? Let me... There's actually a trash can up here. I did a bad thing. Anyone who's played Super Dungeon Explorer will recognize these. These are the edges to the first edition boards that don't fit in the Forgotten King box. Because they did such a shitty job with the original tiles, and I said that from day one, that border was stupid. And they should have machined it down so that it didn't have the arrow ones on there. It was a stupid idea. And they didn't know that. They were just trying to make a thing they loved, and that's fine. But when you have a bad thing, you have a bad thing. It's just the fact of it. So I finally cut those down so they would fit in the box with the other tiles. They're not as interesting as everything else, but I was tired of having them sit around on the side. They were getting beat up because they weren't in a box. Tux, I will kill you. I will make a head out of you. So I didn't want that to happen anymore, and I'm trying to make sure that he doesn't destroy everything with his fluffiness. So I finally got it trimmed down and put it in there, and I used a cutting board so that it was mostly straight. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. Let's say. But I don't know who was going to want to use those boards when I've got the Von Drack and I've got the Forgotten King tiles. And then eventually I will have the Crystallia Plains tiles. But I will be using them later on for a thing as a basis, though, because I have to change how the tile system works. I've got to blow it up, so that'll be fun. But that's that. That's Super Nintendo Explorer for the week. Oh, I did order the Twilight Princess from somebody because I know she's a limited model. It's the only model I didn't have physically here or on order from Soda Pop Miniatures, so I was okay paying way too much to get that. So yeah. Okay, I'm going to talk about 2 games and then I'm going to go into Minecraft because that's the good one. I played 2 blind plays this week, Sanctum 2. Both of my live streams for those died suddenly, so if that happens here, that's what happened. Sanctum 2 is basically a first-person shooter version of Dungeon Defenders with a sci-fi theme. Come to think of it, the monsters even move similarly. I ended up playing Simo the whole time, the sniper, because that's what felt good. The machine gun was horrible. I didn't like it at all. That's fine. There's a heavy character. There's an assault character that uses a shotgun. So that game is fine. I played through 4 missions, or 4 stages, which is the first region. And I was like, okay, I'm done. Because I'm not going to play that game forever. I'm not going to play that game to the point where it actually becomes reasonable to do so. It's just not my game. Not my game, it's fine. And then I ended up playing SteamWorld Dig, which I thought was cute, but like again, it's one of those games you have to play it for a certain amount of time to get the return on it. And I just didn't find it that fascinating. It was cute, it was whatever. And then my stream died, and I was just like, I'm not replaying all that. Because what happens is, in your mind, you make all these pathways, and the mine is permanent. Like, all those pathways stay there. So you just slide down the wall until you get to where you were at the bottom of your digging, and you keep looking for more and more resources. So eventually you get down into the farther levels, and that's where you get rich stuff, or the richer stuff that you need to be getting. So there is that. Which is cute, and it wasn't worth going back into. They're both games that, like, okay, I played this, whatever. I don't even know why they're on my PC to begin with, so I'm not going to feel bad about not playing them. And there's plenty of games that, once I get done with blind plays, that I need to go back and play. So I'm not worried about it. There's a whole series of first plays for games I am informed about, but I haven't got to run out of playing yet, so that'll be fun. Cat, I swear... Jesus. Okay, so that's that. Let's switch over to... Let's try this. Okay, so... Okay, I'll actually draw on this because why not? So, some things have changed. This is the map as it looks so far, which is fine. There have been some new additions. Why can't I draw? I don't understand. Oh, that's why. So there's a new addition around here, and there's a new addition around here. And I'm going to want this a lot smaller. Jeez. Where's this size? Yeah, not 900. Stop it. Oh, that's why that happens. I'm learning. So we'll go and back these off. So there's a new addition around here, and there's a new addition around, let's say here. So we've got new people coming on that came and started building stuff, and then this has been diggy. Oh, look, there's a giant mine underneath here with things, and then you can get close enough that you can actually see some of the stuff going on under here as well. And this really hasn't been used. It's been more of a train stop than anything else. The blue line here is a rail system with a switch traction here. And then really there's not even an elevator to get down to this town. This is a village. This is a village, and then Vale started as a village and now is a city. the green line is unfinished rail system, which has been expanded now. We found another site here for one of the mods, and another site basically down here. So this now expands through here, comes across, boom. And so now we're going to end up changing this into a station because, quite frankly, it's not being utilized, and it's fucking deadly. I have died more places here, or more times here, than anywhere else on the entire game combined. Not everywhere else combined, but like any other place out of any of them, that's where I've died the most. And since it used to be like Bethla too, was our spawn point, our center, and I've moved that to Vale because Vale is more centric to everything else going on. There's a couple outliers here that just they've went and fucked off proper. Look at that. But the hope is that the green line, the foundation's been set. So I just need to get enough rail and power going out there. I was really hoping that it would go this way and connect to Spencer, but no go there. That is not the case. Oh man, so that's been a lot of fun trying to get that up and all set. But of course, it takes a major amount of resources, the amount of track, glass, and cobblestone alone, and then torches, gold rails, and redstone power sources. Is kind of crazy how much you need to make something like this happen. So there's a little place near. It's actually probably about halfway between the turn and whatnot. About there, there's a mine there that I've been going to from the Northmore outpost. Is it this site? No, it's this one. At this site here, in the south of the Moorlands, I've been going down there, and that's to mine for things like titanium, things from the More Ores mod, because here. And like all these sites up here in what I've been calling the Moorlands, there are fruit trees that you can't see anywhere else. So we know that those generated from the new blocks. But I've been spending a lot of time down here in this dungeon trying to get it all cleared out, and it's really expansive. So it's returning a lot of track and resources, so that we can take that and go make the rail system. And now that I've finally got the green line all the way to Kayla Manor, when it becomes Kayla Station, I think it'll really work out for the best. And what really makes this an ideal spot is that there are actually two buildings there at the manor. There's the manor, and then the guest house, and the rail stop is just horribly placed. For the guest house, you actually have to run away from the guest house, go around the stop, and then into the guest house. So you can't even get to the main place from there. But I think we're going to do two switching stations. We're going to put a switching station here at the manor that goes to the green line, and then we'll put a switching station in down here at the guest house that'll actually come this way, and probably do something like this. Yeah, I gotta give that a little bit more thought, because I'm not positive on how that's going to work out without a third switching station there to close that loop in. Because from the example here, like this is going to have to be Treefort Station. So between Treefort Station and Kayla Station, we're going to have sort of an interesting issue, or being able to get the loop done with two switching stations. But I don't want to do another one here, so maybe if we just run it out